Hey guys, Carlos here from Angler's Lifestyle. No, this is not a fishing video. Catfish season is almost over, and trout season is, well, 2-3 weeks away from actually starting out. So the planning will begin, probably second week of October. And so we're gingerly waiting for that. But in between that, we've got a couple of weeks of preparation, looking over your gears. And for me, again, it's I've started to grow plants. Okay, and some of these plants are hopefully going to help me change my diet. I'm growing some lettuce over here, and unfortunately those seeds haven't germinated yet, so I'm not sure if the seeds are viable. But anyway, more importantly, I had learned how to set up these wicking tubs, self-wicking tubs from Gardening with Leon. Hey, Leon, thanks a lot. Shout out to you. But I did a little bit of variant on my setup, and I'm still using the same configuration as Leon, but with a little bit of twist in it. Anyway, so what I have here, okay, are these Walmart tubs. Okay, these tubs are, let's see, it's 21.5 inch in diameter, okay, and 16.25 inch in height. Okay, so I've drilled my overflow hole here. That's probably about 3.5-4 inches, closer to 4 inches, but I'll explain why. And I've also put this copper tape so the slugs don't climb up into my tub. So that's one variant. Now, as far as the perforated drain tubes, I have 3 of these. Okay, I have a long one, and I've got 2 small ones. Now, just so we know for the record, this long one, I cut it as such. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 25 to go across the middle of my tub. And then these small ones, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Okay, so I wanted to do this video to make sure that I have that on record. So 25 in the long one, and then 14 ribs, okay, on the small one. Now the way, okay, these are 4-inch diameters. Okay, all right, Leon uses 6. Okay, 4-inch diameter. Okay, I have 2 of those, but what I'm doing is, because it doesn't sit in the bottom of the tub properly, what's going on is it's gonna look like that. Okay, so by the time after all is said and done, I actually have a good 2-inch gap up top, okay, with respect to the air gap. All right, so I'm not gonna push it all the way down in order for it to be leveled, or else, my roots in my tub will not wick, and it'll just be always wet. So what I've done is, because it doesn't fit perfectly in the bottom, okay, there's gonna be at least an inch air gap. Hence, even though that these are 4, okay, 4-inch in diameter, my overflow hole is right over here. Okay, well below the air gap. Okay, so make sure that that's the variant of my tub, but everything else is pretty much the same. I got this at Home Depot, and these are really cool because it's already pre-cut, and these are 1.25 inch Valencia, and looks like it's 24 inches, and I just cut it into a wedge like that. I didn't make it pointed, okay, but the wedge here is so when it's down, okay, the water would just go in easily. Otherwise, when it's flat, obviously that water will not go down as quickly. I have to lift this in order for that water to flow. But what I've also done as a variant is I have this, I just happen to have this wooden dowel, okay? And I've always wondered, well, how much water do I actually have in this tub? So what been using is I've been using a dowel. I've been putting it into this actual a feeding tube. And when it goes down in the bottom, okay, obviously if the water is up here, it tells me, just like as a dipstick, for your motor oil. So anyway, I've been using that, and I just measure, once I go in as a dipstick, if the water's here, I just line it up against the actual overflow tube just to see where it's at. And then once I get into half level, I go ahead and actually fill it. So anyway, let me go ahead and get started. Oh yeah, one more variant. Instead of weed barrier, okay, cloth, I use this screen mesh, okay, which is heck a lot cheaper. Okay, these are the screen mesh that goes into your windows, okay, and burlap. So I put this down first before I put the burlap. So let me go ahead and get started on that. Whoo-wee, boy, it sure is a hot day. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and set up this tub. So as I've said, I'm gonna be using these drain tubes, and I'm gonna be using 3 of them. I'm gonna go ahead and line it up this way so that it lines up against the overflow hole. Okay, so orientation wise, just so you know, it's going to be this way, okay, lined up against the hole. Okay, let me go ahead and do that. These drain tubes have lines in them, so just go ahead and line that up, okay, essentially along the axis against the drain tube here. Okay, so again, don't push the middle one, okay, all the way down. Okay, so it should, I mean, you can see it. I don't know exactly how to show that, but you can see, all right, you can see here that there's a gap. Anyway, I don't think you can see that, but where the actual overflow hole here, you can see that there's a gap here. Okay, just trust me, there's going to be at least an air inch. You should be able to see it. Okay, so just be confident that that air gap is there. Okay, so don't push it all the way down. So the next thing you would do is put your screen down. This tub here, I set up with the burlap first and then the screen. I don't think it matters a whole lot. I just wanted to try it a different way. So we're gonna go ahead and put the screen down first. Okay. Let's push that all the way in. One trick that I learned to hold the screen down when you're setting up these tub is to use these clothespins. Okay, and I'll show you how I will do that. So go ahead and lay this out. Give it as much slack as you can. Okay, and then just clip it like that. All right. No brainer there. All right. So you just clip that there, just so when you start pushing, some of the dirt in, you don't have to worry about not losing, losing some dirt into the tub, okay, into the reservoir. So make sure you put enough mesh in between the holes make sure you put it all in between. All right, make sure that goes all the way down. All right. Remember, the idea is to just keep that soil from going in between. Then that's for the smaller, that'll hold the smaller dirt from falling in there. All right, and I also put burlap. So I'm trying to get as much natural, you know, materials in there as possible. And when you put your dirt down, again, go ahead and clip this down too. So that when you start putting the dirt down, there you go. Make sure that you actually wedge it down in between. Okay, so once you go ahead and set that up that way, take your feeding tube and position it in a location where that gap is. Okay, guess what's the best way here is to show you. Okay, you see here where this pocket is? One of the pockets, right? That's in between the large tube and the small tube. There's one pocket there. Okay, that's where my feeding tube will go, which is directly across the overflow. Okay. So my other tub, I don't know exactly where I put it, but I'm guessing that that's where it went. So we'll just go with that. All right. So what we have here is a dirt, okay, that I've assembled to go into the bottom. Okay, so this will fill maybe about a third of the bottom of the tub. This is a mixture of the Kellogg garden soil, okay, and I've also added some coconut coir in here, and I've also added some worm castings. Okay, this is all well mixed. Okay, all we need to do is put this down into the tub. Get that all in there. All right. Okay. Make sure you push it down into those four corners where there's a gap, an air gap. Okay, and also on the rounded edge of your I just pushed the pipe down. Shouldn't have done that, but I felt it move. Where's the overflow? Oh, okay, well I guess here's the overflow right here, so that's fine. Okay. Okay, I just want to make sure that I didn't push the all the way down. I guess I did. All right, make sure I have enough air gap there. All right. Okay, the recommendation of Leon is to go ahead and put some fertilizer down first. What we have here is the Organic Plus vegetable fertilizer. Okay, for tomato, vegetable, and herb. And this is a 4-6-3. Okay, so 4% nitrogen, 6% phosphate, and 3% potash. Okay, and it also has 10% calcium. Okay, so for the nitrogen of this is very low, so because this is going to be in the bottom as far as fertilizer, it'll take a while for the roots to get down there and actually acquire these this fertilizer. So it's good to have this type in the bottom. So about a cup. Okay, I think that's a cup. Okay, so let's just add that into seems a lot. Then again, this is not really a measuring cup. So we'll just stick with that. So we'll go ahead and just add it in there. And then he also recommends this sea mineral. Okay, about a half a cup of that, or a quarter cup, just so you have something. So allow the plants a little bit more trace minerals, receive more trace minerals. Okay, put that there. And also some Epsom salt. So the Epsom salt will help protect the plants from any type of diseases. Oop, let's see. I guess we use this one to be consistent. Okay, that's probably about a quarter cup there. All right. Okay, so go ahead and move that around a bit. Okay, so the last time I set this up, okay, I immediately wet this tub, okay, to get that wicking action started. So this time I'm going to try it without wetting it, okay? And what we'll do is we'll water from the top and then also feed here after. But this should allow this, the dry wicking would help suck it up this way. Okay, a little bit more about planting stuff. I don't really know a whole lot. I understand that with respect to roots, the roots at the max should only go down about, 8 to 10 inches. Okay, based on my tub here, okay, this is probably about 10 inches here. Okay, and that's the right height for my root system. So all I need to do right now, this is exactly where my baseline, okay, soil is already for the wicking tub. Remember, the tubes are here, okay, and then we have the soil, the base soil goes up to here, okay, and then the rest is going to be normal potting soil. So let me go ahead and add some of that. And this is just potting soil. It's got some perlite, okay. It's good to break up that soil. There's a few of it with, these clumps. Okay, break that up. Okay, I think we've got a good amount of potting soil in there. Okay, I'm gonna add a little bit more, just a little bit more. Why not? Okay, there you go. So now we have potting soil, okay, and all we need are plants. What am I gonna plant? For some reason, I'm not really good at germinating seeds yet, so I'm kind of cheating. So what I've done is, I love green onions, and all I did was essentially chop the parts that I eat from the green onions, and then the bottom half that has a rooting system already, okay, I put in water. So these starting to grow on water just by just putting them in a bowl like this. So I said, hey, this is great. As you can see, the rubber band is still in there. All right, the rubber band is still in there, so they started growing as well. I'm gonna go ahead and plant this in my tub. So I guess we'll go ahead and plant these. Ooh, they smell so good. Okay. Go ahead and plant them like that. Oh no, I just broke this. Oh, so sad. Well, I guess we'll just start that off that way. I bought this rosemary a while back, but I didn't have a chance to actually plant it. And compared to the ones that's in the tub, this is kind of looking a little sad. So I thought I'll go ahead and put them in my wicking tub, just so it has a home. The rosemary itself is a very aromatic plant, and it will also help bring in some good bugs, as well as deter bad ones. Okay, we'll go ahead and pack that in. Make sure that you okay. Oop, my other onion got buried. Okay, so that's a good amount of spot for that. And I suppose I could plant some more onions here once I've consumed them in my next meal. So that's it. Now, you know those worms that I've been using to compost my food scraps? Well, it creates, those worms create compost tea. And I'm telling you, this compost tea is the best. Okay? We're going to use them not only as foliar type of food, but we'll go ahead and use them also for normal food, and give these guys a head start. Okay? The first week or so, it's best to water them from the top. Okay, to get some moisture in there. And this tub will stay okay. So you go ahead and water it, and that water will seep into that soil. Making sure that your plants will get good contact with the nutrients that it'll get from the soil. And then from there, okay, if this is seeds, obviously you won't use this harsh of a spraying. Okay, but since it's not, I guess this is all right. So let's see how this rosemary will do. He's kind of looking a little sad. All right, and then the next thing is we just fill the tube on here. Not sure if you can see that, but see the water starting to weep out? What that means, okay, once that does, you're done. Okay, and as I was saying, that's a good indication that the water has reached that point okay, and obviously you don't add anymore. Somebody I had alluded to using this dowel, okay, as a dipstick. Okay, you stick it down, and as you can see, the water is up to here, and that's about the same height, okay, as the overflow. So if your water line has gone down this, like half, for me, it's a good indication to go ahead and add some water. Okay, anything lower, you run the risk of the bottom drying out. Then again, you also don't want to oversaturate, but I guess that's not possible, because right now, even though the water, okay, says that it has about this much, I still have this much of airspace, and that's what makes this self-wicking tub work. Anyways, I said that this wasn't going to be a fishing video at all. It's a necessity at this point in order for me to change my diet as well, and allows me to grow my own food. And even on a small scale like this, I think it's great for everybody to do that. This is not an original idea. I actually did this for my sister who lives in Hawaii, and she said that, hey, that's a great idea. You know, I always have a plant that's dying and it's always drying out because I can't seem to water it at the right intervals. So this is a good way for her to actually grow her plants. And in fact, she's already started growing it on a small scale, just trying it in a little itty bitty plant and see how that does. Anyway, shout out to my sister in Hawaii, and I hope that this works out for her as well as this is working out for me. This tub here has been growing since the last week of August, and look at the basil. The basil is higher than the feeding tube now. Okay, not sure if you can see that, but the leaves are really green. Okay, and I have strawberries here, and look how big some of those leaves are. Anyway, it's a variant to keeping the moisture in the tub. Instead of using these weed blankets, you can also use moss. Okay, let me show you my tub. As you can see here, in between, there's moss. Okay, so you can see that. All right, and that keeps the moisture, holds the evaporation rate and slows it down. Anyway, I had just set this up sort of as an experiment to see how it'll do, but I was really surprised. I mean, look at the leaves of this strawberry. Okay, usually you don't combine fruiting type of plant in the same tub as foliar type. Okay, so this way, as far as putting fertilizer, I don't need to find a fertilizer that would work for all of these. But if it's just foliar, it's just leaves type of thing that you can eat, again, that's just high nitrogen. That's the type of fertilizer that you would add in here. But you've got strawberries, so you got to make sure that your potassium goes up, your potash goes up. And, you know, it's not like it's bad for any type of leafy type of plants. But again, they're totally loving it. Look at the rosemary. This is the rosemary, okay, that I planted in this tub. Right, and that's the rosemary over there that I just planted. Okay, see the difference in the color? That's kind of yellowish and drying. Then again, I kept it in that Bonnie container too long. Okay, so but this is what happens, okay, when you keep that moisture. And again, this is my first try. My tomato plant that we bought, we cheated because we said, okay, we just want a tomato plant that already has roots, and we were able to take care of it. But after we've harvested, it's gone. Now I'm still waiting for my lettuce mix to germinate off of that bag, which again I just learned, and so far no sprouting going on yet. It's been truly hot. I've been watering it accordingly, keeping that soil damp, but so far nothing yet. So I figured this way, you know, it gives me hope. Okay, it gives me a chance, and it gives me the ability to harvest rather quickly and enjoy the fruits of my labor. Well, in this case, green onions of my labor. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. And again, sorry, it's not a fishing video. And if I find something, maybe I'll add it in the end just for your enjoyment. Anyway, as always, come fish with us sometime. See ya. Come on, Christy. You think? Yeah, just leave it.
Catfish don't hit like that, like boop boop.
No, that's how they hit.
Really?
Yeah.
Every time I've seen catfish hit, it's just
No, maybe he'll pull it back on again.